And we rolling. Welcome to episode 79B of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask the question, how long until one of the hosts says something really pretty gross about Zootopia 2?
I give it 5 minutes.
5 minutes. We'll get into Judy Hopps. Phrasing.
Although I haven't seen it yet.
I think you just did.
Yeah. Look.
5 seconds?
5 seconds.
She's got big eyes, soft fur, and a fat ass on that rabbit. It's just, I'm not saying I completely understand, but I understand.
Sure.
All right. This is an audio medium, so just please believe that my co-hosts are just like nodding very, very slowly. Okay, this was some kind of awakening for him. My name is John, and joining me tonight, Andy, who does our artwork and graphic design.
What's up, guys?
And Naveen on music and audio production.
All right, hello out there.
Pod Daddy Eric will not be joining this evening. I just received a text. He's on a quirky Victorian steamboat performing his all-star musical Papa Do Preach. We, of course, wish him the best of luck.
Good luck, Eric.
Good luck, Eric.
You deserve it after losing the New York mayoral race.
Yeah. He's had a busy year, that one. All our content is currently up on the Rebels Without a Pod YouTube channel. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. 18,000 views collectively on the channel we surpassed over the past week. To our listeners, thank you kindly for all that, including still inexplicably our release of the archived Kung Fu Hustle episode passing 2,500 views, well on its way to 3,000, possibly by the end of the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the only question that comes to my mind every time you send out all of these statistics or mention all of these statistics is why?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Why?
Why is anybody listening to this nonsense?
Anything is possible. The universe is chaos, Andy.
I see. It's the whole monkeys with typewriters thing again.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it is why, but at the same time, thank you for listening.
Yes.
Yeah, that too.
We do appreciate it, but still,
we do appreciate it. We don't quite understand why, because we are definitely getting like just objectively worse as the show goes on.
Yeah.
Think about Judy Hopps. All right.
I mean,
Think about Judy Hopps.
Maybe don't.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
talk about a carrot and a stick.
Yeah.
No. Tonight we'll be discussing. We're having a little year-end discussion of some of the best, worst, and most surprising non-podcast films that we didn't cover but did watch in 2025, and as well as just kind of reflecting back on some kind of non-movie culture that we've enjoyed over the past year. Gentlemen, first off, though, this kind of becoming a movie podcast, a pop culture podcast, the thing we kind of felt like a little bit into kind of backwards, but I think has kind of been one of the real kind of interesting sort of journeys that we've kind of been on this year. The fact we've kind of been just sort of following kind of what's, we've been looking at the movies we've watched in quite a bit more detail, and kind of just following kind of what's happening in the industry and what's been kind of put in the theaters with far more regularity. Before we kind of get into sort of like kind of personal discussions on this stuff, would you call, just for like the films themselves that have been released in 2025 podcast and non-podcast covered, was this a good year to watch movies?
Are you pointing at me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. It worked out perfectly on my end. I didn't know if your screens
it worked terribly on my end. Right.
Yeah. Muted.
It looked like Andy was trying to kind of pick something out of my ear a little bit. Naveen, how about you go first?
All right, I guess I will go first. I would say it was definitely a better year. I got to actually watch some movies in the theaters. I actually want to say it's been a couple years, maybe, and I did quite a few. You know, Superman. It was definitely the summer. I would say brought most of them out. So it took half the year for movies to, I guess, get better there. But overall, yes, Sinners was great. The new Superman I thought was great.
Yeah.
I know it was kind of hit or miss with a lot of people, but I did enjoy the Fantastic Four movie.
Sure. The experience the two of us had watching Weapons in the theaters, which I just actually caught again in Tokyo only like about 2 nights ago. That was a just Devine pumping his arm for like the last 10 minutes or so. Like
yeah, I pulled out the Arsenio Hall, you know.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was, that one was definitely surprisingly good. It was a happy surprise. So overall, for me, yes, as I have not been a big movie goer in theaters, that is, and haven't been very good with keeping up with current movies. It was, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few that I'd like to see that I haven't seen yet, but hopefully we'll get to see.
What's still on the list for you from stuff that's come out this year?
I want to catch up on the John Wick. I know that didn't come out this year, but they came out with Ballerina, I believe.
The Anna de Armas spinoff, yeah. Right.
So I'd like to see that. I think that'd be pretty cool. And yeah, just off the top of my head, I can't remember. I didn't see the Toxic Avenger. I didn't see Spinal Tap 2 yet.
Toxic Avenger, you can definitely skip. Toxic Avenger 2, I want to kind of let's kind of get Andy's thoughts. Spinal Tap 2, let's get Andy's thoughts on that, just because he had a double feature of new movies he watched on an airplane that we decided to kind of pin until we were able to have a conversation on mic.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Anybody planning on going to the new Avatar?
Nope.
Hadn't planned, but maybe. I know my wife, if it's still in theaters, I believe it probably will be. She definitely wants to catch the second Wicked, so we haven't watched that yet.
Oh, okay.
And then, I mean, I would like to catch the Avatar in theater. I mean, I know the first one is the best one, awesome one, and it was a better experience in theater. Even the second one, I mean, wasn't as good, but it was all right. But
I'm completely like in the opposite like camp for you. Like I was actively irritated the entire time watching like the first one, and then saw the second one in theaters like 4 times.
Yeah,
it's just something about the water, something about them floating around. There's space whales and shit. It's great.
But don't you have a big fear of the water, and yet you loved it?
They're mostly like in the shallows. It's very it's very kind of dreamy and trippy. It sort of gives you sort of flashbacks to watching sort of Winamp MP3 visualizations like back in college. It's a very chill set. It's very chill set.
All right.
Yeah. But Andy, how about yourself? Let's start with the 2 new release films this year, uncovered on the pod, but I believe it was Spinal Tap 2 and Naked Gun. You had airplane watches for both.
Yes.
How did those land?
So
without crashing.
Yeah. All right. So Spinal Tap 2, I mean, look, Spinal Tap 1 is a classic. It's an awesome movie.
No, it's shout out Rob Reiner, very, very tragic passing over the past weekend, by the way.
R.I.P.
Horrible.
Right.
Getting to watch Spinal Tap with you guys, getting to like just talk about one of my absolute favorites, and Eric getting to see the movie for the first time and really being, to my memory, surprised like how much he enjoyed it. Like definitely a kind of like a high point movie and a high point episode for us, like looking back.
Yep, definitely. And I would say Spinal Tap 2, while clearly not as good as the original, as the first one, it was still fun. Was it a good movie? I mean, I guess that's up to personal interpretation. There's definitely some funny stuff in it. It's fun to see those guys back together again. Really, in any context, whether it was a Spinal Tap 2 or a whole new movie, that doesn't really matter. It's the fact that those guys are back together, which is pretty cool.
Sure.
Yeah, so it was fun. I'm gonna say it was fun.
There's a segment in the middle where, if you understand kind of like the thing that they're parroting, it's pretty funny, and then the way that they escalate that parody, put it for me. It's not a movie I think is consistently great, like front to back, but there is a 10-minute section in the middle that made me laugh harder with the cameo involved than maybe anything else that I've kind of seen in the theater. Like I was just in shock that they actually kind of went to the place that they went with it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, and I won't spoil it for everybody else, but yeah, I think that's true. There are definitely glimpses of some really, really funny stuff. The fact that Nigel is owns a cheese shop.
Uh-huh.
Just little. There's just like little things that are really funny about it. So
a guitar and cheese shop, which is
yes.
maybe a direction the show, your own store could go in at some point.
It could. Where basically it's a bartering system, guitars for cheese kind of a thing. So that was pretty damn funny in my opinion. So yeah, the Naked Gun. I'm gonna save the Naked Gun.
Okay, fair enough. Understood.
I'm gonna save the Naked Gun.
Right.
As far as things that I do, how was 2025 for me? It was okay. I didn't get the opportunity to get out and see a lot of movies this year, or even watch a lot of movies kind of just like streaming or whatever. Basically, I watched the movies that we watched for this pod and very little else.
This podcast plus Eric and I, like the spinoff that we do where we covered a ton of horror movies back in October, like that was the majority of my bandwidth as well for like the cultural stuff I had time to take in.
Yeah, the majority of what I watched was watched either for the pod or on an airplane. And when you're watching movies on an airplane, for the most part, you're kind of just stuck with whatever they have for you.
It's a different thing. I find myself further stuck because I'm really at a point in my life I prefer to just kind of watch whatever the person sitting next to me is watching. So that really kind of narrows things down a bit.
Yep, that's fair too. I think that's maybe a little bit uncomfortable for the other person.
Here's the thing about Judy Hopps. You know
Moving
that
along.
bun must be tight.
Moving
You
right
know that
along.
bun must be tight.
Stuff that I did not see that I would like to see.
And he's like, moving on.
I'm just ignoring that one altogether.
I've been to see.
So you guys mentioned Weapons. I would like to see Weapons. That just with the way that you guys have talked about it, it's definitely piqued my interest. I don't think it's the type of movie. Yeah, it's definitely not the type of movie that I would typically go after. It wouldn't have been on my radar at all had you guys not mentioned it.
If we can do maybe like this coming year, like a group watch in a dark room, it's my girlfriend even said, she's like, it's not the most horror movie. There's maybe 3 real jump scares like in the entire thing, but sort of like beyond that, it's a movie that's doing a lot of different things at the same time, all really interesting, all really very kind of unique and like sort of like individual. I can't really compare it to like anything else I've personally seen.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean, so that's definitely on my list of ones I want to see. Wicked 2. I know Wicked 1 was I think I picked it as my favorite movie of the year last year.
Really? Okay.
Or it was definitely up there. It was one of the ones that I talked about. So I liked Wicked 1 a lot. I'd like to see Running Man.
Yeah. I'd like to see that one as well.
Glenn Powell, the new Edgar Wright film.
Yep. That looks interesting to me. And then One Battle After Another also looks interesting to me.
Sure.
That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, in case anybody out there doesn't know it.
Right.
I did not know it, so thank you.
Yeah. Paul Thomas Anderson. A movie that I liked, didn't love, but really kind of, if we kind of talk sort of kind of topicality for kind of movies kind of being released like in 25, like that movie, which apparently was conceived a really long time ago, but some like kind of like the cultural and political thing it depicts, it really kind of hits the nail on the head for kind of what's happening in the country at large at this point. Yeah. Not exactly my favorite of the year, but one I would love to have a conversation with you guys if you ever kind of personally get around to it.
Yeah, I will definitely watch it. I like Leonardo DiCaprio's movies, generally speaking. I don't know that there's any that I've seen that I absolutely despised.
Right.
I think my least favorite is probably Shutter Island. But
plus like Paul Thomas Anderson, Magnolia, Punch Drunk
Yeah.
Love, Phantom Thread, Boogie Nights, just an incredibly accomplished like director in his own right as well.
Yeah, so I'll get around to it for sure.
Sweet. So I think I'll just kind of like pin my sort of summaries. I was able to kind of get out to the theater enough this year that for like the podcast itself, I was able for kind of like non-pod stuff, I was able to kind of make my list just out of what I saw specifically that was released in 2025. So I won't kind of I won't step on my bit like a little bit for right now. Let's get into worst new films of 2025. Watched in 2025, could be from this year, could be prior, just anything that we didn't kind of cover on the pod or kind of discuss at like any sort of length at all. Naveen, you want to kick us off?
Let me see here. I forgot to look it up here. Did the new Mission Impossible come out this year?
The final one, yes.
The final one? I thought so. Yeah. That one.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah, like I think I mentioned it in our weapons episode that I did with my wife. Not weapons, together. The together one.
Sure.
But she had a Cinemark membership, and then we were trying to just get rid of the free tickets that she had. So we ended up going to see the Mission Impossible and Reckoning there. And it was just bad. It was just convoluted and annoying and not so much fun. And then I think the past two, Top Gun Maverick and this one, it's like, all right, Tom Cruise, you think he's dead. Oh no, he's still alive. Yay.
You were not a fan of Maverick as well when it came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I don't think it was that great. It was okay. I mean, so
what for the two of you guys, what's your relationship with like the Mission Impossible franchise generally?
I've seen the first few.
Yeah, I kind of didn't watch it thoroughly.
No,
through, so
didn't
kind
really
of
land for me.
Yeah, kind of the same. I think I watched the first two. I mean, like the first one came out in 96, which is sort of like insane to think about. But it was just like it never kind of really did anything for me. Convoluted. It felt like that kind of screenwriter heist movie thing that that they parodied so well in a Rick and Morty episode a few years back, where they can just they set stuff up and then like, oh, it was a double cross or it was a triple cross or it was this other nonsense thing like all along, and it just doesn't feel like I never felt like I was kind of with those movies kind of watching anything where like the world was kind of consistent at all, and I just found that really boring, kind of really unengaging. I was curious enough because supposedly like the 5 Mission Impossibles they've kind of made sort of like kind of in between those high school ones and like the most recent one have been supposedly like increasingly like interesting and kind of stylish and well made. A lot of the conversation is just how much other crazy shit can kind of Tom Cruise like just how much other stuff can he do, throwing himself like off like a skyscraper or an airplane, out of an airplane, like whatever else.
That's the whole thing for me. Like it seems like these movies are at this point just being made to give Tom Cruise a reason to keep doing stunts.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of the curiosity and like a lot of the conversation is like is around that. And
it's just like what crazy stunt did he do his own stunts for? It's like who fucking cares? Like he's a 60 whatever year old man who's doing whatever he can to just hold on to, his youth and his relevancy. It's like, come on.
But that's kind of like the entirety of the thing. So I didn't see the latest Mission Impossible, but I went to the previous one, which is the part 1 of the part 2 that kind of came out this year, and it was the same thing. I'm just kind of staring at the screen, going like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, this thing is kind of set up, and oh, it was this other thing like this entire time, and it kind of called back like all this mythology, and it was just. I was bored and really didn't have any time for it at the end of the day.
Yeah. So that was my definitely the worst one of the year.
Nice. Andy, how about yourself?
So I I actually picked two because I really couldn't decide which of these two movies I thought was worse. So The Naked Gun was one. I guess since we were already talking about that, I don't know who that movie was made for.
Why didn't it work?
So I was actually thinking about this last night while I was walking my dog, and the only things what's that?
Humble brag.
Humble brag. Yeah, my dog. The only thing I could come up with is that Leslie Nielsen was such a good actor, and
was just a 1 in a million for exactly the kind of thing.
Absolutely. And I mean, you want to talk about a guy that just absolutely carried those couple of movies that he was in, the Naked Gun movies that he was in. And the fact that he was such a good actor, but also incredibly funny, I think was what made those movies work, in the same way that I think he was a big part of why Airplane worked. And
right. He's just, because this is a man who in his 20s and 30s was a leading man in like a lot of sort of black and white kind of dramatic and action and sci-fi movies in like the 50s and 60s, like a very serious, very accomplished guy.
And I think I mentioned this while we were watching Darkman, but Liam Neeson is just not a good actor. Just not. Not to say that he's not enjoyable in certain things. But he's not a good actor, and he's not, maybe he's funny, like funny for a leading man, but he's not funny. Right. To me,
Liam Neeson has always just been Liam Neeson, and some actors, particularly for some leading men, that's kind of the entirety of like the thing that you need at the end of the day. But what Leslie Nielsen was kind of doing was so careful and calibrated and really kind of thought out in like those original kind of Naked Gun movies. That's exactly what you said. Like it worked, but it required a degree of kind of technique and subtlety that Liam. It was just kind of embarrassing to kind of watch him do the things that he was kind of doing in the new Naked Gun film.
Yeah, the only redeeming quality of that movie, which was surprising to me, was I thought Pamela Anderson was actually
she was quite good. Yeah,
I thought she was good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her in anything since Barbed Wire, I don't think.
Right.
Which was
another 96 film, for being kind of retro like that.
What an absolute shit movie that was. But for someone who basically disappeared from the public eye for a really, really long time, she came back, and I was like, you know what? She's pretty good at this.
She's doing everything that she kind of needed to do for like that role, 100%.
Yeah. So that was one, and then the other one, actually, Naveen, not to rain on your parade, but from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. I watched both of those movies on an airplane, so maybe that cut down on my enjoyment factor of them. But I thought Ballerina was just a slog from beginning to end.
Interesting.
Oh, really?
The John Wick movies, so I had not seen any of them prior to this year. And I made it a point that I was going to work my way through all of them. I don't know why that was something I wanted to do, but they were on, once again, they were on the airplanes, all year long. I was able to watch them on airplanes. And I
So have you run the full series at this point?
Have, yes.
And exclusively on airplanes, not renting any. You didn't catch like a single one at home or anywhere else.
Exclusively on the back seat, the back of headrests on airplanes.
Wow. That is low key serial killer behavior, but
a little bit. But like John Wick 1, I thought was a lot of fun. John Wick 2 was good. John Wick 3, okay, this is starting to wear a little thin. John Wick 4, not good. And then Ballerina, just terrible. And like Ana de Armas is, I think, a pretty good actress from other things that I've seen her in.
Certainly like an actress praised when we did our Blade Runner episode.
For sure. I mean, so she was a total letdown for me. I thought she was boring. She had no personality. I thought it was just a flat performance. The only compelling part of that movie for me was when Keanu Reeves as John Wick comes into the story. I won't give you any more than that, Naveen, but he was the only compelling character, and it's like, well, okay, he's John Wick, like this is not supposed to be, I guess, really a John Wick movie, and he was the only character I cared about throughout the entire part
Right.
that he was in it.
Right.
So
for a guy that's in the film about what, like 5-10 minutes or so,
something like that. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, that's it for me. Those two movies were just kind of meh at best.
Got it.
I could see that for Naked Gun. That was it didn't interest me at all. Like I was like, oh no, they're redoing this, and it's like
I went to it twice in theaters because there was just nothing else in theaters like that particular month, and like I think a thing that also sort of kind of drags it down a bit is, and again, they're talented people sort of behind this. This is Seth MacFarlane produced. This is Akiva Schaffer of Lonely Island, like directing the damn thing, who has made like a ton of very, very funny movies in the past. I think it tried to split the baby like a little bit with it. It had a hard time deciding what generation of comedy it was actually writing for.
Yeah.
If that makes any kind of sense, because there's a bit of like the 80s kind of sort of just kind of straight out sort of Naked Gun thing. There's a bit of kind of 90s kind of post Simpsons, a little more kind of Gen X-y, like a little bit more absurdist, and then there's kind of millennial / Gen Z super absurdist parts in certain things as well. And I think it was, for me watching it, I was like, the Naked Gun movie, this either has to be really, really kind of dry and 90% like a straight noir with like a kind of just funny kind of slide bits kind of built in, or this thing has to kind of be like front to back, like completely wackadoo.
Which is what they tried to do, but it was it was like they tried to just shoehorn too many fucking jokes into the movie, and it got tiring.
Yeah, I was wondering like how can you like redo that kind of comedy nowadays? You
can't.
You could, but it would look and feel like something. It would look and feel like something from like the 80s, and would probably not be really commercially viable at all. There's a way to kind of make this for people like specifically our age, but then they would get just kind of no sort of money and no kind of coverage to actually like produce something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Definitely a cash grab, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Worst movies for me. I mean, like generally 2025. I'm just kind of like looking through like my letterbox list, where I kind of have everything kind of ranked for like the year. I think like they were the highs were really high, but the lows were really fucking low for like this year as well. And I just kind of just living in Vegas and having like a really good theater like right down the street. I just kind of, if anything was even like vaguely interesting to me, I'd show up for it to kind of see what it was about. Things that I had to kind of disqualify. The worst movie I technically saw this year was a horror film called Bone Lake that Eric and I covered on Cunning of the Goose to know small passions for how irritated we both were by that film. After that, I think I can kind of disqualify this as pod one as well, but Minecraft was like the second worst thing. We didn't cover it, but we had kind of like an extended conversation with Charlie about just I mean that's all fairness. That one's just really not for us at the end of the day. I did want to mention though something I realized kind of after we did like the conversation with Charlie, and I wanted to get this on mic. I asked when we were having the conversation when he came on the show, what was the demographic like in the theater where he saw Minecraft, and he said it was mostly kind of just people around my age. It was a mix, kind of just boys and girls kind of going this thing. And then Charlie said, but I did notice maybe 2 or 3 middle-aged guys sitting by themselves in the theater, and he was like had no idea what's going on there.
Yeah,
it took me a little bit of time to figure that out myself, but I wanted to kind of I had a realization. I want to get that out on mic. Those middle-aged guys that Charlie saw at his screening of the Minecraft movie were other middle-aged movie podcasters just trying to figure out what the fuck this thing was about. Because I was literally one of those middle-aged guys in the theater at my screening of Minecraft, and it just I when we had the conversation, I was just so blind to my own role in this thing.
I'm hoping that is in fact true. That's why those guys were there.
Yeah. Best case scenario.
Yeah, that's absolute best case scenario.
Here's the thing about Judy Hopps. And moving on. So out of everything that we did not kind of cover on the pod, this kind of gets back to my this. I have to kind of go to my third ranked kind of worst of the year, but Tron Ares. I went in. This was kind of a dire October for kind of new movie releases. I read some statistic. This is actually the lowest grossing October for films in the United States that has been had in the last 27 years.
Wow.
Jeez.
But Tron Ares is playing. Reviews were not great. Jared Leto, Disney production, but everybody's like, oh, the visuals are cool. Bunch of new Nine Inch Nails songs, like in that. Like I'm like, this like I can kill a Saturday going to check this thing out. And just what a complete piece of just misery like this movie was.
That bad.
That bad. And one of those things where I'm pretty easily entertained by fantasy and sci-fi bullshit at the end of the day. Like it takes like the Tron stuff looks very, very cool. And the Nine Inch Nails stuff does slap, like as you'd expect, but the Jared Leto is a fucking black hole of charisma, like in this entire thing.
In everything he's in.
He's infuriating.
I don't understand.
Yeah, but what's kind of interesting about the production of this one, he was supposed to be the villain in this. Funding fell through. He put up a bunch of his own money to get this movie made in the initial stages, but under the agreement of we need to redo the script, so I am the hero of this thing instead of the villain.
Oh,
just the egotism on this guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a movie that was infuriating to me because it had a cool soundtrack. It had just this amazing sort of black and crimson red neon sort of just kind of retro futurist kind of just 80s cyberpunk thing kind of going. Greta Lee certainly fine as hell, like the entire thing, but what lost me, the Leto thing at the center was terrible, and it weirdly felt like kind of corporate AI propaganda in very large portions. Like literally the message of this movie, even kind of taking a step back from like the Leto stuff, like the theming is some corporations are going to use AI for good. So there's some corporations you can actually trust. It was so naked, it was so capitalist, it was so cynical. So that made it that put it at the bottom of the barrel for me for anything we've talked about on pod, off pod.
Who is so Jared Leto, forces rewrites to become the good guy. Who else is supposed to be the good? Like, was there another character that was maybe clearly supposed to have been the good guy, or?
I kind of read it as like the Greta Lee character was supposed to be the there's kind of a there is a main evil corporation led by Evan Peters that you'll remember from like the X-Men movies and American Horror Story, and Gillian Anderson, obviously, just like the X-Files. And Greta Lee plays the CEO of a smaller rival corporation that's basically trying to use AI and 3D printing technology to make food. And to the best of my memory, it might have worked, and it might have made sense if kind of Greta Lee was kind of like the central hero figure, and it's Jared Leto in sort of cooperation with the evil corporation trying to track her down for like the entirety of the film. I best guess, I think that might have been what like the nascent version of it was.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie never had absolutely no draw for me. I actually didn't see the last Tron movie either.
Same, yeah.
Don't care. Just don't care.
All right. Supposedly like the last Tron movie, supposedly like pretty good, like a really kind of great Daft Punk soundtrack. I like the idea. I heard this on like a different podcast. It was a Get Played, but they randomly came up the idea of like you should just kind of go up to random people like on the street and accuse them of like being in Daft Punk. It's just as a way to kind of pass the time,
Sure.
And eventually,
Yeah,
and just law of averages, you could probably find one of them eventually. You just be like, hey, "Are you Daft Punk? Are you Daft Punk?" And all of a sudden, you just come up to like one guy. You're like, "Are you Daft Punk?" He goes, and it just goes and like this switches to like a French accent. He's like, "Oh no, I have been discovered." And he just jumps on a motorcycle and rides off. Yeah. Funnier podcast than ours. Get Played. Shout out. Listen to them instead of like our just amateur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. Biggest surprise non-pod films that you watched in 2025. Naveen, how about you kick us off?
Biggest surprise. Non-pod. I don't think I have anything that was really a big surprise. So yeah, you can just move on.
Everything was exactly as expected for you this year.
I mean, not exactly.
If nothing, let's do like kind of biggest surprise. Let's widen the aperture on that like a little bit. Anything that we watched in the pod that really kind of caught you off guard, good or bad?
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. I was gonna say, Weapons caught me off guard, and I thought it was really good. So that was also a big surprise. Loved it. Sinners was definitely a surprise. I did not know of that plot. Again, I mentioned it in our episode that I thought it was just another music type themed movie, but it ended up being a Dusk Till Dawn style thing, where it turned into a vampire thing. So that was definitely a big surprise, but it was a good surprise, and it was still a lot of fun. So
weirdly, not the first one of those movies we've even seen in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't think anything was a big surprise. Yes, there were good movies out there. Superman was a big surprise, but again, it was we covered it. So I think the surprise
quite extensively. We were very effusive about it.
Yeah. So I think that's where I don't have anything that's non-pod that was a big surprise, because they were all just all right, because we did the surprises on pod.
Right. Let's see if we can do like another surprise on pod. Naveen, are you Daft Punk?
No, sorry, no surprises.
I am the Daft Punk.
Yeah, I was not about to attempt that. Not about to attempt a French accent. They would.
You coward!
Are not so good. Oh yeah, definitely coward.
Yeah. Well, cowardice is fine, particularly since he does all the final edit. Andy, have big surprises for you yourself.
So, we've discussed this briefly on the pod. We didn't watch it, but it has come up in conversation. K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, I had that on my list as well.
That movie was so goddamn entertaining, front to back.
All right, I gotta watch this movie.
Yep, you really do. Plus the plus the soundtrack is fucking awesome. In my opinion, some of the best modern pop music to come out in a while. That being said, I'm a 45-year-old man, so take that with a grain of salt.
But I mean, like 5 of those songs have set like kind of just global records for kind of like most times streamed on Spotify.
Yeah.
From the industry, like kind of things I listen to, they're like it's impossible to write one song for a movie that you can kind of convincingly sort of put out as like this is a song that kind of took over the world. They wrote 5 of these things for K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yep. So that movie plus the animation style of it was great. I was tickled throughout the entire thing. I thought it was great. Runner up, and Johnny, I know this is a movie that you weren't a big fan of, and I don't know that I'm necessarily a fan of it either. But it's stuck with me since I watched it on an airplane. And that is Nosferatu. I don't know that.
I just your memory about that might be like a little bit foggy. That's actually No spoilers, but that's my best of non-pod for 2025.
Oh no shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought for
yeah.
some reason you
Loved it.
you were not a
Loved
fan of it.
No, no, no.
Oh, okay. All
We'll
right. Well,
get
then
to it.
that's good to
Yeah.
know then, because
Hmm.
I thought it was I thought the plot was a little anemic.
Hey,
Hey, see what I did there?
did.
I thought the plot was it was a little thin,
Hmm.
but there are moments in that movie that have stuck with me since I watched it. The absolute final shot of the movie,
Bananas.
banana, and I
Right.
have not been able to get that visual out of my head,
Mhm.
for any considerable amount of time since I watched the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, and visually that thing was stunning to look at.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that one surprised me. I didn't think it was going to, I guess, affect me in the way that it did.
Right. Robert Eggers, I will pitch at some point as a director that we should cover every one of his features as a cycle on the podcast, because you go from like The Witch, which is a really amazing kind of atmospheric kind of horror movie, kind of set in New England, kind of Puritan times. The Lighthouse, which we did previously kind of cover on Cunning of the Goose, but it's basically about these two New England wickermen living on an island, maintaining a lighthouse together in New England in about the 1800s. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson star at that, and the whole movie is just about how they gradually kind of drive each other insane. The Northman, which is a Alexander Skarsgård kind of Conan the Barbarian, sort of like adjacent set, kind of sort of like a warrior epic, and then Nosferatu. The Northman, unwatched by me at the moment. I'm going to try to correct that, but he has 4 fascinating movies that I think if we ever kind of get into a point with the show where we do like a full kind of director like filmography, I would love to spend some time just talking like about his stuff.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
Cool.
So those are my surprises of the year.
Right. Biggest surprises for me, just and this is just kind of 2025 films, but again, K-pop Demon Hunters, like a thing that should not have been anything at the end of the day. It just kind of was literally a movie called K-pop Demon Hunters. Not our generation, certainly not our kind of personal or just kind of the kind of favorite kind of style of things, but just a particularly for a year that's sort of been defined by kind of so much just political bullshit and division and isolation and like everything else, just having something that was so just universally respected and loved with this, and just having such kind of a global film. Like, one of the details I really love with that is out of like out of the 3 performers at Huntrix, one of them, it's just 2 were native born Koreans, but one kind of just came up in the United States and sort of kind of like moved back to like the country at some point. Just a thing that was successful, and a thing that I think was successful for really like the right reasons, as opposed to like a Minecraft movie or like whatever else.
Yep.
Other non-pod big surprises for me like this year. I've been like a little bit gross about it. I will probably continue to kind of like do so. But Zootopia 2, I've seen twice in theaters and absolutely loved. Like,
did you love the first one?
I have not gotten around to see the first one yet. It's a big omission for me at this point. I just haven't had the time to kind of get to it. But man,
But you've had the time to go see Zootopia 2 twice in theaters.
Yes. I will
You
probably
in 10 years had the chance to watch Zootopia 1.
Because it was one of these things where like it just kind of came and went, and kind of similar to kind of K-pop Demon Hunters. It's a movie called Zootopia that I assume for like the longest time wasn't actually shit.
Zootopia 1 is I'm biased because it was one of my daughter's favorite movies for a very long time.
Sure.
But Zootopia 1 is really solid. Really, really solid.
No question in my mind, especially now that I've seen the second one. It's
Yeah.
Disney needs to stop doing this live action bullshit and just make one of these Zootopia movies once every kind of couple of years. Like, it's it just adorable, amazing character design, funny jokes, fun, colorful, kinetic. It does a thing that I think like the best kids movies do, which is basically it makes a movie that's largely just for adults, and then kind of puts like sort of like a kind of a kid veneer like on top of it. The sophistication and like the maturity of like that storyline, the the emotions, the relationships that are depicted, like the way how fully everything in the world is realized and how charming all of it is. Yeah, there's some stuff that just makes me laugh kind of at my core. And in Zootopia 2, there's a group therapy scene, okay, of at the Zootopia police force where partners that are having kind of difficulty with each other are kind of go to kind of work their issues out. And Andy, you've seen the second one, right?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't gotten around to this yet. Okay.
Nope.
I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a thing then in like the group therapy scene up top between Francine the elephant, who for whatever reason, probably because like the police force is a toxic work environment, has been partnered with Clark the mouse. And it's up there for like the hardest I've ever laughed at anything.
All right. Yeah, my family saw it the day after Thanksgiving, but I had to go into the store, so I didn't get the opportunity to see it.
Yeah. Worth a look if you get the chance at any point.
I will definitely watch.
And then like other just kind of real surprises, Predator Badlands. This is the second feature Predator movie to come out this year. This is the third overall by Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey on Netflix like a few years ago, and then did an animated Predator film that came out earlier this year called Predator Killer of Killers.
So good.
Yeah. It just shortlist for me. I have to get to it at some point.
Yeah, so good.
Predator Badlands is just it's the first ever movie that actually just kind of centers the predator as like the main character of the story rather than the villain or the adversary. But it works. It's funny. It's great action. It's high concept. It's basically he sort of goes off to a death planet to kind of challenge himself for the first hunt, basically to kind of get revenge on his dad. Sci-fi movies, a death planet's always kind of like work for me. Just a film that I think needed like another $100 million kind of visual effects. Some things are a little kind of gray and grainy, but just a movie that was a really, really good old school kind of sci-fi romp. And it's just one I was kind of not expecting like anything out of.
I've mentioned, we've talked about Corridor Crew, the YouTube channel, a number of times. They just did an episode where they brought in the guy who I think he was the lead VFX guy on Badlands. And he kind of breaks it down, and they talk a bit about it. Good. If you liked the movie and you noticed some things about the VFX that either seemed janky or good or whatever your thoughts were about it, I would recommend it. It's actually a pretty good little mini-sode about it.
Yeah, I will absolutely kind of check that out at some point.
Yeah,
it just in fairness, like this is a fully performed just Predator who is on screen the entire time, is not wearing a mask for like the entirety of it, so they have to kind of CGI everything that's sort of happening with his face. And he, for the majority of the movie, has a robot missing its legs, played by Elle Fanning, who's just kind of strapped to his back like the entire time. So
the way that they did that effect in particular is really pretty cool.
I have to check this thing out. That sounds
pretty
like
cool.
fun.
Yeah, and the other thing that's interesting too is they ended up having to basically, so when a human being speaks, the way that they form, the sounds that they use for their language obviously is heavily informed by their facial
the anatomy, right?
Musculature, the whole thing. Well,
the tongue, the vocal cords.
That's right. So you've got somebody like the Predator in this particular movie who basically just has mandibles, big teeth and shit, and no lips, and kind of two mouths. So they had to figure out a way to animate the mouth, the face, so that it looked like he was actually speaking when he's got these speaking parts. And in order to do that, they also had to essentially invent an entire language. you know,
Yeah.
and like, you know, if you don't have lips, what kinds of sounds can't you make? And
Mhm.
how would you work yourself around that? So instead of making, you know, like a P sound, maybe there's a click that you can make that kind of emulates the sound that you would make in saying the letter P, or
Sure.
so anyway. I
Right.
don't want to oversell it.
They
Cool.
not just invented like a whole language, which, you know, they've been doing sort of kind of going back to like the Tolkien times. They invented a new language around a completely different set of anatomy.
Yep.
Than what otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Really, really dope movie. Wasn't expecting too much. High recommend for me.
Cool.
All right, let's go on to kind of best non-pod films watched in the 2025. Devine, how about you start?
Best one. That was also a tough one. I mean, it was mostly even keeled there. Where does documentaries lie in this one? Does that count as a film?
100%. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. And it actually relates to this one. I thought it was very interesting. It relates to our lateys to the 80s because it was a documentary on HBO of Paul Rubens.
Oh, so this is a cycle, by the way, for new listeners on the show that we've not gotten to yet, but it's basically a kind of a 4-part coverage of movies. Well, 3 parts are going to be movies I just kind of ended up missing in the 80s, largely because we didn't have cable. Then we're going to be ending on Empire Strikes Back, which I saw about 100 times.
Right.
But the first one of these being sort of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, I know that this was an HBO documentary that recently came out.
Yeah, that came out. I watched it a few months ago, and it was very interesting, kind of eye-opening. Like I knew some of the stuff, but not a lot of it. And it was just really cool. The biggest part being with this documentary was that it was done by Paul Rubens. Like he hired a crew and he did it. And he's like, well,
interesting.
Usually documentary, somebody else is doing it, but he's like, I'm trying to do this. And here are the questions here, you know, and he's got the person asking him the questions and he's telling about it. And it was just very interesting. Even just with the timeline of Pee-wee that I did not know as a kid until now.
Sure.
Of how it started, where
we were very young when he kind of first hit, but actually the lineage, I've been learning about this stuff too, in preparation for like the Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like kind of episode that we're doing. But
and I mean, a spoiler, but just a little bigger thing that I didn't know that the Pee-wee's Playhouse came after Big Adventure.
Yeah.
It did?
Yeah. I thought the same thing. But the movie came out before the TV show.
Right. But he was kind of a fixture on he was like a weirdo late night talk show fixture for a while, where Rubens would come on as Pee-wee to be interviewed. Letterman was really kind of fond of like having him on because he was such a great comedian and improviser. Right.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing the Pee-wee bit as a bit on his comedy shows on this on the things that he does, and it started like at 12 midnight. I think I may have misspoke a little bit, but like he did have a show on HBO.
Yes.
But it wasn't.
That was more like adult oriented, and that's kind of
thing. So the kids show didn't come until after the Pee-wee's Big Adventure movie came out, which was just really interesting. So I found that to be very cool and interesting. Like even reliving some of the moments that I knew about, but also some of the things that I really didn't know about. And how it became like even just the fact that Paul Rubens created this character, but he is not on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's Pee-wee Herman.
Pee-wee Herman himself is actually because he lived so completely that character. I think like the first time Rubens did a talk show appearance as just himself and not Pee-wee was something like 2011. It happened very, very late in his career.
Yeah. So I mean, it's long. It's 2-parter. I think it was like an hour and a half each part. So, but it was definitely really interesting and very cool. Like a little nostalgia lens going back in time, but just knowing some of the things that went on behind the scenes was really cool. Sure. And even how Pee-wee was created, what it started off as and what it ended as was just
because his history with the Groundlings and like the fact that he basically he was almost on Saturday Night Live, and like kind of creating like Pee-wee was like a thing. We can get all into all this and like in like the Burton movie episode kind of proper when we do it in like a few weeks. But yeah, look forward to hearing a bit more about that. Andy, how about yourself? Sort of best non-pod stuff you used to watch in 2025.
I think my favorite movie that I watched that was not on the pod was probably Saturday Night.
That's
the SNL, or
I did watch that one.
SNL episode.
Yeah.
I thought, being a huge SNL fan and not really being as familiar with sort of the early days of SNL, obviously, as I am with the the more recent stuff. It was cool to kind of just see the kind of the swinging 70s that were going on, and
right.
All these guys that eventually went to become huge superstars in their own right, like Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and all these other guys. It was really kind of cool to see how they portrayed those what was it?
Them being just so young, and the majority of like those comedians came out of like kind of the Chicago sort of sketch and improv scene, and it's the ultimate kind of hangout sort of movie. I don't usually get sort of too excited watching like a scene in a movie with like kind of like a New York people, like hip people partying or whatever else, but like those scenes that they have in the writers' rooms where the writers are coming up with jokes and the actors are doing bits and everything else, that looked so fucking fun to me.
Yeah,
I remember thinking when I watched it.
The actor that portrayed Lorne Michaels, I thought was fantastic. I don't know what his name is, so my apologies to that actor, but you were really good at it.
Gabriel, he was the lead in Spielberg's The Fabelmans.
Okay.
And you kind of see him, and you have kind of like this sort of kind of stern, kind of like right-wing politician image of like on Lorne Michaels in your heads now. But if you look at what Lorne looked like back in '75, it's very eerie. It's almost like note for note perfect.
Yeah. So I thought that was really well done. I thought it was interesting. But I will admit I struggled to come up with an answer to this one about what my favorite movie of the year was. I don't know when Saturday Night. I think Saturday Night came out last year in 2024.
It was a 24 release, yes.
Yeah. Some of the favorite movies that I watched this year, I did watch on the pod. I think my favorite movie that I watched all year. Yeah, I think it was probably The Gate.
Interesting.
I thought The Gate was just such a fun movie.
Right.
It was terrible. I mean, it was, to be clear, like not a good movie, but an awesome movie.
Out of nowhere, it's inexplicable to me, particularly with just like the cultural footprint that Stranger Things has now. How The Gate has not become like this, like a much more sort of rediscovered kind of 80s cult classic than it actually is.
Yeah.
I had never heard of this thing, would not have ever watched it if Eric not brought it to us for the show.
Yep. I think I agree with that.
Yeah. So I can kind of wind down on my kind of best of 2025 here. Like I said sort of earlier, looking at my top 10, I think like out of those 10 movies, 6 we've either kind of covered like on the pod or the spinoff. I'll sort of shout out Megan 2.0 actually kind of being like sort of like a really kind of undiscovered sort of gem for like it just sort of came and went. A movie that everybody hated because it just had nothing to do with the first one, but I thought was really, really entertaining, kind of pivoted from kind of horror to sort of kind of like anime inspired kind of robot fighting, but just a really good time. New releases this year by Soderbergh and by Steven Soderbergh and Wes Anderson, The Phoenician Scheme, Black Bag, I both thought were great. But for me, like the top ranked thing that we did not cover on the podcast that came out this year, like I said, Robert Eggers and like Nosferatu, it's just all the sick shit that I really love and want, like in a movie. It is so stylish and so entertaining and so crazy and so horny and just fucking just when it wants to be weird, it can be fucking weird, but wants to be sort of kind of dark and brooding and surprising and beautiful. It can kind of pull up all those things too. My review for that film on Letterboxd was, I think, 4.5 stars, and the review itself was the one X that your girlfriend's still a little bit weird about. ... What a great goddamn time! Like this movie has Willem Dafoe at one point screaming, "I know things that would make Sir Isaac Newton crawl back into his mother's womb."
Mm.
Like there are scenes between sort of Lily Depp's character Alice and the Bill Skarsgård Nosferatu character, where she's kind of staring him dead at the eye, and she's like, "Foul snake, this feeling I have crawling about in my belly, it must be some curse of affliction you've cast upon me." And Nosferatu's just like, "No, girl, you are just horny." I'm there just eating popcorn, like just nodding like this.
I had no idea throughout the whole movie who actually played Nosferatu. Somehow that missed me. When I found out it was Bill Skarsgård, I was like, God damn, this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to making characters.
Bill Skarsgård kind of playing a combination like the other Nosferatus, plus also like a little bit of sexy Ned Flanders and Waluigi. That's how I've read that described.
Well, you know what? Waluigi is a good pull. That is accurate.
Yeah.
As fuck.
I kind of just say this as just like sort of like a fan of like the Nosferatu films. Like I studied the F.W. Murnau, like original kind of German 1920s expressionist Nosferatu in college, part of the class that was taken. I've never seen, but really want to see like the Werner Herzog Nosferatu from the 70s that starred kind of Klaus Kinski and Isabella Adjani. Like supposedly that was one of those movies where Kinski and Werner almost like literally like stabbed each other to death while they were trying to make it. There is an amazing Nosferatu adjacent film from about 2002, 2003, starring Willem Dafoe and John Malkovich, called Shadow of the Vampire. Have you guys heard of this movie?
Heard of it? Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Premise of this movie: it's an imagined retelling of the making of the Murnau Nosferatu from the 1920s. But the twist is, so Malkovich plays Murnau. Willem Dafoe plays Max Schreck, who was like the guy that played like the vampire in the original like Nosferatu movie. But the twist is it's an imagining of what if this guy Max Schreck was an actual vampire that the director found and made an agreement with, that if you star in my vampire movie, I will let you eat the lead actress once we're actually done filming. It
That sounds awesome.
rules. It absolutely rules, like front to back. Just Eddie
Is it a comedy?
It's a lot of different things.
Okay.
You can't pin it really kind of down to any sort of one genre. If there's ever like a cycle that's appropriate for it, it's something I'll really bring to the rest of the crew, because it's Willem Dafoe losing his mind, and John Malkovich losing his mind, and just all this really just fun, gnarly, kind of horrific, but also very comedic, just kind of vampire shit going on like the whole time. Yeah, it's a good one.
All right.
And that kind of wraps up like the film side. We wanted, because we've got like a bit of time left, we want to kind of give a chance for other kind of random cultural shout outs. We'll also Eric not kind of be on the show like for this week. We'll try to kind of get his kind of picks on the next record. But outside of film, movies, music, TV, plays, shows, good walks in the woods, restaurants, just enjoyable times that you took a shit, like anything else that you guys want to like shout out for, like what else culturally in 2025 did you guys like find yourself really enjoying?
I enjoy The Boys. That's the
let's clarify that real quick.
Yeah. That's the the Amazon Prime video show of basically the superheroes are villains, which is really neat. But they also have a spin-off called Gen V, and they just released their latest season. I think season 3. And
Any good at all? Like I've heard it's pretty well talked about.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it very much. It's really neat how they're connecting it. It's kind of like it's going back in time and giving you more of a history of the whole superhero thing and how it came about, but it's set in modern times, and it actually has some connection with the actual Boys series, which is really neat.
Mm-hmm.
How it connects and how it's going to work, and it's going to be I'm very interested to see how they connect it and basically end the whole series both together, because it seems like eventually they're gonna they would have to merge.
They're going to converge. So like I know the mainline Boys story is going to wrap up with its 5th season in kind of spring 2026. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, that's coming out then. So that one was good. Of course, still like it, still love it. Just new Stranger Things season has come out, and very curious about the next installments coming up. Can't wait for those.
Yeah.
And then Alien Earth was a little bit of
kind of a fun little surprise there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good, but sometimes it was like kind of boring, but overall it was pretty neat.
Yeah. A little bit of kind of jank here and there. Happy to see Timothy Olyphant and anything. I really love the like the new kind of alien designs. I mean, it was I really had a good time with it personally.
Yeah, I mean, I did have a good time with it, and definitely Timothy Olyphant just nailed being an android.
Right.
He nailed that, and of course, from a while back, but the other main characters in there being the lead character from the end of the effing world, that Netflix series that
oh shit, okay, I didn't actually connect those dots
Eric
at all.
had mentioned. Yeah, the brother. Yeah, he's the kid in the end of the end of the effing world.
Okay, like the brother also had a pretty significant role on the first season of Andor, but I didn't actually sort of like kind of connect the dots that he was from that BBC show originally.
Yeah. So those were the shows, not really movies or anything else, but no other things of books or plays or.
Right.
I might come up with something.
Did anybody have time to finish a book this year?
No.
Yeah, I am halfway through Chuck Klosterman's The 90s, and that's as far as I've really gotten into it.
You just gave that book to me.
Yeah.
So
I gave my mother's copy of that book to you because she tried reading it for a book club and actively hated it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very, very kind of specifically for our age and just for our age kind of thing.
What's it about? I've never even heard of it.
So Klosterman is a very funny, very intelligent, just essayist and kind of pop culture kind of critic and humorist, and he does his latest book. It's just a collection of essays about the 90s and him kind of reflecting on what happened with music that decade, what happened with film that decade, what happened kind of generally culturally that decade, how it did like the fact that we kind of went in with kind of really pretty minimal technology. We got the internet more or less at the halfway point, and the world just kind of completely changed when we came out like the other side of it. I was going to say if Naveen gets a chance to kind of crack it open and read it, I find it fascinating personally. I mean, it's again for people that are very, very specifically our age. But if Naveen likes it, it's something I may actually pitch as like a book club thing that we do on the show.
All right, cool. I mean, just related to that as well, I forgot about on Hulu. I've been watching a documentary series called "The Dark Side of the '90s," and that's been really fun and interesting to watch and learn about.
So what kind of so like the dark side of the '90s? What are some of the things that are examined in this?
So many things. The hip hop and culture, especially with the Tupac and Biggie stuff happening. Right now, I just finished up the whole thing with Rush Limbaugh and his whole rise to fame and his shtick and things, and pretty interesting. Considering
so like the rise of kind of modern right-wing talk radio and like everything like kind of like the floodgates that sort of he opened it up being as successful as he was.
Yeah, and apparently he's the one who coined the term feminazi.
Okay.
So I mean, it's really interesting. They did. It's got 3 seasons. I'm in the 2nd season now. They did grunge music, so the whole Kurt Cobain thing as well. They do child actors or some of the shows that happened. One being some of the African American shows, like Family Matters from TJIF was a huge one that had so many
kind of behind the scenes.
skeletons.
There was like abuse and just kind of just exploitation and nonsense.
Just so many things, going on. So it's really interesting just to see some of that. The Heaven's Gate thing that we had talked about a little bit.
Sure.
Was part of their thing. Heaven's Gate and Koresh, they had the 2 cults going on. So it was very cool. It's been really
does
cool.
anyone else remember like the SNL cold open where they where it was like a news studio got a call after the guys all committed suicide? They got a call from like a UFO circling the earth, and all the Heaven's Gate guys were up on the UFO partying with like these aliens, like in their robes and shit.
Only what you had mentioned
all right,
previously. Yeah, but I haven't seen the actual thing.
I'll see if I can dig that up someplace.
Yeah.
Sweet. Andy, how about yourself? Like outside of and again, like sort of like this movie thing that we kind of do like on like the pod, it kind of takes up so much like the bandwidth of like free time, and I'm certainly appreciative of like all you guys sort of kind of work, family, and everything else. You're finding the time for it, but Andy, for what else there was just kind of limited? Anything else that you want to shout out?
Yeah, so I mean, I can't say that I've watched anything new or IP that's new, but like I watched the new season of Only Murders in the Building, which I thought was great. I finished all of the Severance episodes that are out currently. So I finished that series up to date anyway, which I thought was really good. It was it was hard for me to get into originally, but then I was hooked on it. Found that fascinating.
It's a slow build, but when it lands, it lands.
Yep, absolutely. My happy place watch show where like if I've had a rough day or if I just need to kind of put something on and melt into the couch. Great British Baking Show 2025, fantastic. Must watch if you're into that sort of thing.
Great British Baking Show. Okay.
I fucking love it, man. The English,
has it inspired you to do any like sort of to make a cake yourself, or is it just kind
Absolutely
of purely
not.
like just purely voyeuristic?
Nope, I live 100% vicariously through those adorable British and Irish people. Absolutely love that show. Have seen every single season of it, and would watch them again from start to finish right now if I could.
Must be nice to live that peaceful life, like a lot of those people I just kind of picture like sort of living in sort of like kind of like just mushroom houses or like giant shoes.
Yep, and some of them I'm sure probably do actually. And then this is something that we have discussed on the show, but I will say one of the highlights of my entire year was us 4 going to the Guar show together.
100%, yeah.
That's easily top 5 things that happened for me this year.
Right. Without the podcast, it would just not something that we kind of started as a bit on the show, but the fact that that just like the fact the stars kind of aligned and we were able to kind of all hang out at the same time and to experience this thing, and it being as good as it actually kind of turned out being really was something.
Yep. Yeah, that was a really great night. I feel like we set the bar super high for ourselves. As far as like if we were going to get together again and go do something else together as a group, like that's going to be a tough one to even just get to.
You're like, no, just dissolve the podcast, dissolve the friendships.
Yeah, I think we peaked, guys. Sorry. But yeah, that for me, that was a major year highlight. And I just want to call it out again as just an absolute blast. Go see Guar with your friends, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Love it. Kind of for me, just sort of looking back, weird year. Definitely, just kind of like a lot of kind of things kind of happening in my own life, but you know, just very grateful as always, having you guys, having the pod to kind of create something and just kind of have fun with. Big movie year for me. I've been obsessively just kind of logging, ranking everything on Letterboxd. So I won't go into like further into kind of details of what I liked or have not liked this year, but I want to kind of read like the numbers at the moment. With about a week and a half left in the year, I have seen 85 new to me films in 2025, and additionally kind of rewatched 22 more. This is up quite a bit from like the previous couple of years when I started tracking. So that's kind of been for like the culture I kind of been taking in. Like I said, I've had a chance to read half of a book. I've had the opportunity to play maybe 3 video games like this entire year, which will Eric and I will probably kind of talk like a little bit on Cunning of the Goose at some point, so we'll kind of try to save the conversations around those. But in terms of TV, not something again I had like a ton of time for, but sort of just kind of like top of the heap for me. The second season of a kind of like a comedy action anime called Dawn to Dawn. Eric and I kind of covered the first season of it at length. Like the second season ended up being the Nevermind, like the first season's Bleach. Just something that just had me smiling like front to back. Second season of Andor, Tony Gilroy's Star Wars spin-off show that basically kind of tells the story of like kind of like what the rebel fighters were kind of doing leading up to the events depicted in Rogue One. Some of the best televised sci-fi that I've ever seen. Perfectly acted, perfectly kind of written and directed. A show ostensibly kind of set in the Star Wars universe, but more than anything else, just kind of about kind of thematically sort of retelling kind of what was happening in kind of resistance groups in Western Europe prior to the rise of fascism and start like World War II. Great kind of timeless sci-fi, but also just very kind of wonderfully and upsettingly kind of relevant to the current time. And the last thing that I'll mention, I think that we're going to hear over the next year this show kind of discussed in the same breath with Severance, but I've recently got into a new show coming from Vince Gilligan. He was the lead writer and creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. This is this show that he started on Apple TV called Pluribus. It's a completely new kind of show and genre and storyline. He's pivoted from kind of crime from like in what like the Breaking Bad stuff was about to kind of light kind of Twilight Zone kind of style sci-fi. This show stars Ray Seahorn, who's like the breakout actress of Better Call Saul, and it's basically about a kind of an alien virus that takes over the planet, connects everybody living on the planet into like a single benevolent hive mind, and it kind of follows what happens to like the 12 people that for whatever reason were immune to the virus and actually are still kind of unconnected to everybody else. Have either of you guys heard of this thing? Have you heard of like
No.
review about it all?
Nope. Sounds fascinating though.
Yeah, sounds really interesting.
Yeah. Mostly sci-fi, a little bit of comedy, like a little bit of horror. Ray Seahorn, just like a platinum grade, absolutely just crazy talented, watchable actress. It's got like
what's her name?
Ray Seahorn.
Ray Seahorn.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Again, this is from like the actual professional podcast I listened to. That's me citing it there.
Yeah, I always thought it was just Rhea.
Yeah. But it's this show that has the same level of kind of writing, characterization, creativity that Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul did. And it's going to be the premise of everyone's connected in a hive mind. The hive mind is completely benevolent and tries as best they can to kind of help out the dozens of people across the planet that can't actually be connected into the hive mind. But the hive mind is so sensitive, is so kind of like terrified against sort of negative emotion that anytime one of the unconnected people yells at somebody with the hive mind, it literally kills millions and millions of people that are like actually connected to it at all. one of the best sort of kind of like concepts of the show. What I explain is basically just kind of what happens in the first episode, and it just kind of builds and builds, goes on and on from there. So far, it's at the same level, kind of like what of Gilligan's previous work. Definitely one to kind of check out like later on if you get the chance.
Yeah. Only one season so far?
Only one season, and I think it's an 8 episode season. I think it's Apple TV bought 2 seasons just off the drop, and Gilligan has said he's written the entire thing, which is kind of 4 seasons. So again, it'll be one of these kind of beginning, middle, and end things that you'd like to see in kind of serialized television like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I recommend. And now that I'm on Apple TV, I'm planning, once I kind of wrap up that, to kind of get into Severance. So hopefully we can have some conversations about that show at some point. Really looking forward to that one. And that just kind of puts us about like the 90-minute mark. So guys, any kind of closing thoughts before we wind down?
Yeah. Again, I just want to thank all 3 of you for this. Seriously. I didn't shout out Andy a few weeks ago when I should have, but thanks for your creativity of your artwork, because that helps me be creative as well. Your professional artwork that you do is amazing, and it's like, all right, I got to be better at my music stuff, even though they're different mediums of the art world. It's like, wow, right. You've upped the game. So yeah, but again,
and Naveen has upped the game as well, to a point that his cover of Spanish Flea has repeatedly, no matter kind of what angle we've taken at it, been repeatedly flagged by the YouTube algorithm as directly ripping off the original Spanish Flea. So I guess you were that.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah. It's something we've been trying to crack for like a while, but I think we're just going to kind of leave as is for the moment.
Right. Huh. I mean, we've put it like a small little snippet in some of the episodes here to bridge gaps, and it hasn't been flagged, but yet. Right. As
we've been trying to do like the Simpsons kind of like commercial interruption sort of thing. It's like that's right. How the gag started itself. But if you put more than like kind of 10-20 seconds like into the if you take kind of like any extended kind of clip of it, you upload it to YouTube, it immediately says, oh, this copyright is owned by like this division of Warner Brothers down in Brazil or something like very bizarre.
Right. Yeah. But again, thanking all 3 of you for starting to go on our 2nd year of this, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. And of course, thanks to those listeners and all our new listeners. Keep coming, subscribing, liking, comments, do anything you can. And also happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year coming up.
Yeah. Same. Andy, kind of closing thoughts. We, I believe kind of for upcoming business, Andy, Eric, and myself have one more record for the coming up before the end of the year, so I think we can kind of say like our kind of like end of year sort of thanks then. But anything at the moment you want to mention?
No, just still having fun with this thing. We're now 79 B episodes in, and still having a good time with it.
Yeah, the episode numbering is going to be like a little bit janky because I want us to do our ladies at 80s starting at episode 80.
Yep.
So I may be finagling our numbering like a bit until we get to that.
So this will be 79B, and then the next one will be 79 1/3.
I'm not going to get into sort of floating point mathematical shit with this. Just purely selfish professional considerations. We're
79.33.
No, absolutely not. For no reason.
79 point.
Okay. We're going to just this is kind of too much to kind of get into on pod, and I value our friendships too much to really describe this in any kind of detail. We're going to stick with like the letter sub numbering.
79, but all spelled out with letters. SEVENTY.
Lexicographical sort.
C cubed.
C cubed.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, I have been discovered.
Andy, so one last thing kind of before we go, Andy. So I had no idea you were asking like this morning what you do for album artwork for like this episode. So yeah. I said I've got nothing off the top of my head, but let's see how the conversation goes.
Yeah.
Have you found has your muse spoken to you like over the course like this hour and a half? Do you have some ideas now?
Nope. Nope. I got nothing.
The three of us in Daft Punk helmets.
Ooh.
There,
Interesting.
there you
Stay
go.
tuned for that one, folks.
Or three of us with no lips.
How about with no lips, but it's under the Daft Punk helmets? We don't
right.
yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Right.
I can work with that.
Stay tuned for that one, gentlemen. Rebels Without a Pod, episode 79. Point B. Best non-pod films watched 2025. Gentlemen, pleasure as always. Talk to everybody in a
Always.
bit.
Yep.
Love you guys. Bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.